Hi there. Today we are solving a dilution and concentration problem. So it's got a couple steps to it. Let's read through it and figure the problem out. Ketamine is supplied in a solution of 100 milligrams per milliliter. I have 2 units here, so that tells me that it's a concentration. If 2 milliliters of this solution is diluted to 20 milliliters, how much of the diluted solution should be administered to supply a dose of 60 milligrams of ketamine? So I see a couple of key words here. I see diluted and I see dose. And that is my clue. When I look at my numbers, I had an initial small volume and a later larger volume. So the first thing I'm going to do is a dilution. And the second thing I'm going to do is figure out how to get that dose. So it's going to be a dosage problem. So first let's look at the dilution problem. The first thing I do with any problem is write down the formula so I can neatly fit my numbers into the right places. So I have the initial concentration, which is this 100 milligrams per milliliter, times the initial volume, which is my smaller volume, 2.0 milliliters, and that's equal to the next concentration, which I don't know yet, that's what I'm looking for, and I see that I have 20 mils. It's going to be my next volume. So notice I wrote all the units down, and that's going to help me make sure that I do this problem right. Milliliters on top will cancel with milliliters in the denominator, so that I end up with 100 times 2, which gives me 200 milligrams. On this side, I have C2 times 20 milliliters. To get C2 by itself, we're going to divide by 20 milliliters. And once I do 20 divided by 200, I find that I have 10, and there are my units waiting for me, milligrams per milliliter. And that's my second concentration. Now, let's think about this and do a check on it, okay? I started with a high concentration here, and now I've gone to a lower concentration at the end of the problem. I went from a small volume to a large volume, and so it makes sense that the concentration should go down, and that is a good check. So now I'm ready to answer the second half of the problem, which was right here. How much of the diluted solution, that's what I just figured out, should be administered to supply a dose, keyword there, of 60 milligrams of ketamine. So we're going to move to the next page and do our dosage problem. So for our dosage problem, we always start with that given number, which is, we want 60 milligrams, that's our desired dose, and then we just figured out that now we have the solution that's 10 milligrams per 1 milliliter. Milligrams are going to cancel, and when I multiply 60 times 1 divided by 10, I find out that I have 6.0 milliliters of ketamine solution to administer to this patient. Okay? My final check, and this is just a common sense check, is does 6 milliliters seem like a reasonable amount to administer to a patient? That's about 1 teaspoon, and offhand that seems reasonable. Compared to, say, you had 6,000 milliliters, that would not seem reasonable. You would want to go back and check your work. So I thought through it, I checked it out, and there's your answer.